to let me to Facebook Live.
Oh, it says live on my screen.
Marvellous, because I'm not getting anything on mine. So good morning, everyone. I'm actually hanging out from my iPad this morning because sadly, no laptop back with the Apple Store. But of course, being Thursday, it's Property Angels here. And we're delighted to have with us this morning, Paul Watling. But before we get to Paul, we're just going to do a brief introduction about ourselves. Now, I'm Karen Stanbridge, and my background was I originally qualified as an accountant. Well, somebody had to, right? I then went on to work in project and program management and senior business consultancy in big blue chip industry. But I escaped that land back in May 2015 and bringing with me the skills I'd leveraged, solid skills accrued through hard work. I began building a property business, creating sustainable wealth, both for now and for the future. And as well as continuing to do that, I help property professionals new to the industry craft a how-to blueprint, telling them how they can actually get from where they are today to where they aspire to be. I also work with high net worth individuals and sophisticated investors who are time poor but cash rich and wanting to get into the property industry. That's me done. Let me hand over to Sam.
Hi Karen, hi Paul, thank you.
Hiya.
I'm Sam Beddoe. My company, I've got a couple of companies. One is a serviced accommodation business and the other one is a property development business. So before I was in property, I was a police officer for 23 years. So quite a difference from what I do now. My experience in property is in a variety of property models, be that buy-to-let, HMOs, rent-to-rents, auctions, title splits, refurbs, commercial conversion, serviced accommodation. I've worked with private investors, I've worked with pension investors, so we've worked together to use that money to do developments. I've used my own pension funds, ported that out of the police force into a SAS pension. So quite a variety of models there, and I've settled on development is my primary property model. We've also got Sarah. Sarah Smith is one of the property angels. She's on maternity leave at the moment. Just a little bit about Sarah. So Sarah was a solicitor for a large number of years, probably a couple of decades. And while she was having that career, she was also a property investor. So she's probably had about 16 years of property investing experience in a variety of property models. We've had businesses together. She's mainly got single lets and HMOs at the moment, which are managed. She is on maternity leave, as I say, and she's been spending the last couple of years simplifying her property business to enable her to have all the time that she wants to have with her new baby, Maisie. So that's a little bit about Sarah. So Karen seems to have disappeared. So we'll carry on, Paul. Paul, we're really pleased to have you on our chat for today.
Thanks for having me.
I think you've got a really interesting story. So as well as being a property investor, you also have a charity that you run, and that's what I wanted to explore with you today, because we can talk to people about property investing, and yes, we love all the detail about property investing, but most of us do it as a vehicle to enable us to do something else. And I think your story really clearly demonstrates that to people, that, you know, property can enable you to have a lifestyle that you want and fulfill those other passions. So welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your background, and how long you've been involved in property, and your journey, really.
Oh, okay. So the journey starts. So I've been involved in property seriously for the last 6 years, and I'd call that phase 2 of my property journey, really, because I kind of had a little tickle at it in 2000 when I was 22. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but all I knew that I wanted to become financially free and buy my time back, basically. So it was all about buying my time back, the most valuable commodity we got, and as a means to travel and explore the world and basically not work for anybody. I've always probably had a little bit of a problem with authority and probably been a little bit unemployable. So I've always done my own thing in life. I've always traveled a lot. And that naturally led me towards property developing. So phase one was in 2000. I developed 3 properties then, and then the hunger for travel and not being in the UK took over. So that was phase one. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. Made a few quid, lost a few quid, learned a lot. And then phase 2 kicked in 2015, same as Karen, because I got to an age where I was 36 and basically no job, no career, back against the wall. What am I going to do? So that's how the property journey got going. In between 2000 and 2016, 15, I've done quite a lot of different jobs and anything to make money and go away again, make money, go away again. So a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none, I guess. And then moving on from there, so the phase 2 property journey started to enable me to travel and to buy my time back. And then the animal passion took over, really. So the two are kind of inextricably linked now, intertwined. So Paul Watling Estates Limited now, co-founded and started and co-funds Krabi Animal Welfare. So the two are kind of totally intertwined now. So yeah, it's a little bit about my background. Just a kid who liked traveling and liked dogs, basically. So that was it. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So just going right back. So when you left school, and then up until 2000, then what were you doing there? What were your sort of goals?
Yeah. So if you want to look at where the genesis of the property entrepreneurial skills come from, that's a good one. I was thinking about that actually yesterday. I guess I was made to get a paper round when I was 13. I worked at TK Maxx on Saturdays when I was 16, as well as going to college. I did a lot of jobs that I knew that I hated, and I think that's probably a big part of entrepreneurship. Looking back on it, I used to love people and love travel and love music, but I used to hate time for money, because I worked out that the ceiling is there, and actually my ceiling to be financially free is way higher. So I think I always had quite a good work ethic installed to me from my dad and from my mum when I was younger. But yeah, so when I left school, I actually went and did maths A level, which I think has probably given me quite a good stead for property stuff. I'm pretty quick with numbers, and I did travel and tourism. And then when all my friends were going to university, the guitar took over. So I went and studied music and performing arts for 2 years, which was fantastic. And as I was doing that, I was working part-time on building sites as well. And I saved up enough money to go traveling around Australia for a year when I was 19. So that was a big one. That was kind of like the making of a man for me. And then once being in Australia and reading a few books, I'm sure you asked me about later on, but I basically worked out that I need a passive income to become financially free. That's basically what I worked out. And it wasn't a choice for me. I had to become financially free. So I guess I was lucky that I had quite a strong work ethic and drive, and I'd done enough of the crappy jobs to realise I didn't want to do that anymore. I guess that's where the genesis of the property stuff comes from.
Okay. And you said at 22 you developed 3 properties.
So at 22, so I got back from Australia. I'd read The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki and also Rich Dad Poor Dad, but it basically just taught me that you need to get some assets under your belt, Paul. So I was working full time at Carphone Warehouse, and I came back and worked at the sales team there, which I really enjoyed actually. But I knew that again, it was only the ceiling was there, and I needed to go a little bit further. But I enjoyed the people interaction and the sales aspect of it, especially in the early days of the phones. So it was good. But that enabled me to get my first mortgage, I think, when I was 21. And I bought a place in Southampton, didn't have a clue what I was doing, and just renovated it. All I thought was I'm going to buy somewhere, renovate it, add value. I didn't even know about locations or strategies or models or anything. And I just thought I'll find the tenants, and I know enough people because I'm a good networker, so I know a lot of people, and I'll get it decorated, and hopefully the market will carry on rising and I'll flip it and make some money. And I did, actually. It did. But you learn more than the lessons you learn is always more than the value, the monetary value, isn't it, on your first couple of projects, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that a few times, Sam. Yeah, I did that a few times and didn't understand at the time that it was actually probably the market that made me the money. So then on the third project, I actually lost a little bit of money. So that gave me a big wake up call. And then I kind of got out in that phase and went off with a backpack for a bit.
Okay. So you developed the 3 properties and flipped them in effect. And
yeah,
that gave you a bit of a pot of money to then enable you to do what you
yeah. So once the second one had developed, that was rented out as a 6-bed HMO, actually. And that gave me enough money to go off to Asia for pretty much a year. So I was traveling around Asia for a year. I left it with my dad to manage, which I forgot about until yesterday. So thanks, Dad. And all the problems that you get with managing an HMO was from my old man who's got no lesson experience at all. So yeah, so that was that gave me the taste of, hey, this is a genuine passive income strategy if you get it right. And and at that time you can live really, really cheap in Asia anyway. So I wasn't one property. I think just having the one property at a time. Oh, and savings. I had savings as well because I was working as well in between. So yeah, that was the first glimpse of passive income, financial freedom. Property is a good way and a good asset to have, because even the money I made on the rent, it wasn't until the day that I sold it that I realised, oh yeah, that's on top of the rent that I've accrued, right, that I've had as well. So lovely.
Yeah. So you out of those 3 properties, you just kept the one?
Oh no, so the third one was actually a flat that I lived in, but it was always my dream to have like a penthouse flat when I was younger, so over the water. So I did that, which was probably a bit ego-led when you're in your early 20s, but that one actually lost money, and that gave me a taste that keep your eye on what's going on with developers and with various strategies as well, because at that time there wasn't a lot of waterfront property in Southampton. Then they hadn't overdeveloped it like they have now. So Ocean Village was very minimal, and they were strong money. I knew that when I bought them, they were strong money, but I bought it with the heart because I just really wanted to live there. Yeah, that ended up losing money actually. And on the day that I sold it, the day that it was due to exchange, the estate agent phoned me up, and I'd obviously sold it to a really shrewd buyer because she actually chipped me down 5k on the day of exchange, which I thought was really, because they knew that I really wanted to get out. And again, all experience, right? Like I was super green. They smelt a desperate seller and they went for it, and they knew that the market, they knew that their cash offer was on their side, because developments were starting to pop up everywhere by then. So, but it was a good year living there. So yeah, I don't regret it.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's 2000, and then we've got the 15-year.
Yeah. It's a 15-year gap. Yeah. So I was doing a lot of security work, doing a lot of music work, just wheeling and dealing, earning, traveling, really. And going back to Thailand, that was the sort of love affair with Thailand started then, really, in 2001, I suppose. And the little taste, I had the little taste of freedom and the little taste of passive income. So I don't know why I didn't get back into property then. I didn't really sort of think about it. It just didn't, it wasn't the right thing, I guess. But I got a little bit burnt with the flat. So it was all about coming back, working for 6 months, 8 months, and then heading south for the winter, basically. And that went on for a long time, went on for about a decade, and really enjoyed working there, doing the security work I did. That was fantastic. Met some great people, you get some great life experience and deal with all sorts of characters, which was brilliant. But after a while, the whole time for money dilemma kicks in again. And that's inescapable when you're a free spirit and when you're entrepreneurial at heart, I think. So that was being reiterated. So actually I bought into the bar 2010, a famous bar in Southampton that I was working at. I bought into it. I had some money saved up and I bought into the bar. And that was, for 3 years, that was a real roller coaster ride. So I learned a lot about myself and a lot about what I didn't want to do. And I was really lucky to get out of that. Sorry, my dog's barking. Wait, quiet. So yeah, so that was I was really lucky to get out of that. And then the back was against the wall, and it was like, well, I definitely don't want to do door work anymore. And the only real passive strategy I've been successful at is property. So yeah, let's carry on with that.
So how did you get back into that in 2015 then?
Yeah, I had a friend of mine. Who was already doing HMOs, already running some successful HMOs, and had a serviced accommodation business. And she gave my sister a tip to say, "Hey, Paul should, maybe look at this HMO strategy. It seems to be working quite well." And so I phoned up her lettings guys, just a one-man's band, and basically said, "Hey, if I did progress and get some properties, would you be interested in letting them for me?" And yeah, he said, "Yeah, if they're in the right location and the right spec and the right this and the right that." So meeting him was a real godsend as well, which is actually one of the most important part of your power team, I think. I'm a solid lettings person, so that's how that progressed. Didn't really know. I had his guiding help, but didn't really understand the whole strategy really, and but just refurbed a 4-bed 3-bed 2-reception house to turn it into a 4-bed HMO in Southampton, and it's let consistently since 6 or 7 years. Did a full refurb on it and probably spent a bit too much on it and probably paid a bit too much for it, all of that jazz. But overall, it's been a good one. And then I quickly worked out at that time, Sam, I was being bought out from the bar that I was involved with as well. So there was a 2-year buyout thing. So I had a little bit of money coming in from that, so I could forecast a bit there, and I could refinance the first project after 2 years as well. So I quickly worked out that I reckon I've probably got enough money to do another one here. So I started hunting around quite quickly, and then again on the second one and the third one, worked out I can remortgage here, and I had other money coming in as well. It's a little bit of family money, I had a little bit of savings, had a little bit. So it all kind of worked out. Yeah, it all kind of fell into place, I guess. The cosmic expression, isn't it?
So keep on reinvesting rather than spending on other stuff.
That's basically what I've done. I was also lucky as well, Sam, not to have I was sort of living on and off at home as well. So I was lucky that everything I was earning I could reinvest. I think I had Sarah say that she was living at one of the HMOs, and that enabled her to reinvest. So yeah, it was basically 5 years of constant reinvesting, and I'm under no illusion that was how I was able to grow things quite quickly within 5 years, because it is challenging, but my overheads were really low. So I was really, really lucky with that. Really, really lucky. And yeah, looking back, I mean, if I had a wife and kids, for example, and a big mortgage, it would have taken a lot longer. So I've definitely been lucky with that. I think the 5 years plan could have quite easily turned into an 8-year plan under other circumstances. And also I was lucky that the market, when I got in, the market did a lot of the work for me, enabling me to refinance 2 years down the track after the fixed rate had expired as well. So yeah. And
you don't just invest in Southampton, do you?
No, I've got a small portfolio in Liverpool. That's under one of the questions that you sent me. That's one of the mistakes.
Oh, tell us more then.
Oh, Liverpool's fascinating. So I just got a tip from a friend who's like, "Look at what I've bought. Look at what I've just bought for 120 grand." And I was like, "No." And then you prick your ears as an investor. Southampton was getting harder, more expensive. The Article 4 stuff was getting a pain, and he was like, "Yeah, look at what I've just bought." And I said, "No, that can't be true." So automatically it gives you like sort of sparkles in your eyes. And then I went up there and spent a week up there, looked around, and yeah, you've got to really rein yourself in, because it's really attractive as a landlord, as a potential landlord, as an investor, because the properties are so big, they're so different, they're so ornate, they've got such a great floor plan, you get so much for your money, and the rental is. So they're about half the price of what they are in Southampton, and the rentals are fairly comparable. So it's theoretically it's 3/4 or double the return kind of thing, 1.5 times, 2 times the return sort of thing. But yeah, I probably rushed in a bit too quick, like I do sometimes in life, and consequently I'm selling all 3 of them. But actually, thanks to the market again, and I will walk away with a few quid from it as well. But rental wise, which was the reason for buying them. They haven't performed. Two of the 3 haven't performed. So what I learned was it's very much street by street up there, and you've got to have a solid lettings agent, and it's a much different market up there. So I just got to a point where I thought I'd prefer to have the money reinvested back down here, basically.
Okay. So you're selling them, and that money's going to come.
Yeah, looking at doing another couple of single lets down here, or maybe an HMO and a single let as well, because I just feel much more comfortable with that strategy in Southampton. So I think the demand will always be there, and I've got that model kind of working well for me. So it's quite streamlined. Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. It's an interesting time, isn't it, for the market, and yeah, and yeah, and lending and everything else. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I feel like the time's come to wrap it up there. So yeah, 2 of the 3 are sold, hopefully completing soon, and then the other ones should be sold soon, hopefully. But you're kind of limited to quite cash buyers a little bit at the moment, so you get a lot of silly offers as well. There's money in the market, but getting a lot of lowball offers too.
Yeah. And have you got them managed in Southampton?
Yeah, I say fully managed. So my buddy who guided me at the start, we're actually really good friends, and we sort of, I mean, I'd say, you know, 'cause he doesn't charge me a lot, and I'd say he does all the hard bits. You know, he finds the tenants, he gets a good balance of people in the house, he deals with most of the issues, but yet there's still, as you ladies are well aware, there's always phone calls to make. You could say we co-manage it, but I reckon it would sort of be 80-20, you know, 80% him. And then on previous times when I've been away for many months, he 100% manages it. So I just give him full range and everything. But yeah, I mean, still the bills are in my name, right, for the HMO stuff. So you're always on the phone to utility people, aren't you? You're always on the phone to lenders, you're always on the phone to banks, to tradespeople. So we mix and match it, but he does the hard bit that I could not do. So I think that's part of being an entrepreneur a little bit, isn't it? Is admitting what your skill set is, and mine. He's really good at getting a good balance of people and sort of I'm a good judge of character, but he's just got it right with the rental stuff. So knowing how to get the right balance of energy in the house and what works, what sort of type of tenants work in the different areas. So yeah, I'm really lucky with him, very, very lucky. So I think he's actually the key to it. Don't tell him that.
And also outsourcing the bits you don't like to, like you say, somebody that you can trust to do the job.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Trust is massive. He hasn't let me down since, you know, and I think trust is everything in life, isn't it? And yeah, he's been good. He's got many years renting out property, so his experience and his knowledge has been invaluable, I'd say. I wish I'd known when I did phase 1 of my journey 20 years ago, because I would say, but you know, you live and learn these things as you go along. So yeah, he's brilliant. But the point is, I think there's still daily things to be done, even unless you're paying the 12 or 15% for it to be fully managed. There's still daily things or weekly things to be done as a landlord. But I guess I've got quite a unique setup where I'm kind of co-managing it with him. So yeah, it's just panned out that way. It's just panned out that way. So I've still got the flexibility to go away for months at a time, which I do. But then when I'm back here, I seem to find myself immersed in things to do as well. So I guess it's a fluid situation with him, which is great as well. So yeah, it's all good.
I was going to ask you, what does a typical day look like for you then?
So invariably there'll be, so it depends if I'm doing charity work or property work. I'll try to divide it up really. So property work will be talking to tradespeople. So it's the time of year I've got a few leaks, I've got a few boiler issues, I've got a few things that need doing. So organising tradespeople, checking that rents are in, chasing up, forwarding that to my lettings guy to chase up rents. Anything that needs renewed, there's always a TV license or a energy contract or a, you know, so it's just basic admin really, responding to all sorts of emails, checking all the licenses are in order, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's all there's always something to do, which is amazing, because most people just think that, yeah, as far as strategies goes, it is probably one of the most hands-off strategies you can get, right, unless you're looking at social housing thing, or unless you go fully managed with the HMO strategy. But there always seems to be something to do, which is okay, because just, you know, you stop your job a bit. But my passion's with the charity work now, so I don't dedicate too much time to the property stuff, and I have got that flexibility of handing over to my lettings guy if I haven't got time to do bits and bobs. So yeah, my average day is that, basically 2 dog walks, a bit of admin, property work, and then charity work if I can as well.
Yeah, we'll come on to the charity in a second.
Yeah.
In respect of your property business, what does that look like for the next sort of 3 to 5 years?
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's an interesting one as well, because I got to a point where, and it ties into the charity story a little bit, but I got to a point where I was quite content with what I had, and then I thought, well, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade kind of thing. I'm still driven, and actually, the more money I can make now, the more animals I can help. So I've got a renewed sense of motivation now. So I am looking to expand it. I think I'll just carry on doing what I know best, Sam, which is offering affordable, decent rooms to people in refurbed houses, in good locations and in a safe environment, and just expand that strategy. I've got a few more that I can refinance coming up soon. So yeah, to the next 3 to 5 years, another couple of HMOs and a couple of single lets probably. Just tick along. That is safe, secure sort of bread and butter income for me. So a couple of refinances, I guess, to reinvest the Liverpool money, and then apply that to the charity as well. So yeah, that's my. I'm not a massive one for goals or targets or deadlines. I sort of do things by feel most of the time. So that probably will feel the right. But then also, let's keep an eye on what's going on next year too, right? I mean,
yeah,
anything's possible. Yeah. So if a steal comes up, then I would make it happen. But also, I'm not going to rush into anything. So I've definitely rushed into a lot of things in my life. And then normally the things that you rush for don't pan out. I think it was Richard Little said something similar to that as well. And the ones that you're sort of chase are always the ones that end up being the biggest pain in your bottom. So yeah, so next 3 to 5 years to expand the portfolio, to get it a bit more systemized. I've been meaning to get onto that QuickBooks or that Xero, but I just haven't got round to it. Yeah, just to carry on being as best landlord and offer the best rooms that I can, really.
So it sounds like your purpose for doing this is for the charity work. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so just so I spent many years in Thailand and many happy years in Thailand. Got to a point where I just couldn't take the suffering over there anymore of the animals that I was seeing on a daily basis. So kind of had a light bulb moment, and it kind of coincided with me being quite content with my small little portfolio I had going on, which was generating the half decent passive income. So I got to a point where I just asked myself the question: what is the value of money? You know, what is the purpose? What is the value of it? And I think there was definitely a yearning to give something back in some way, to do something of high value, you know, non-monetary value, you know, to create light, to create a bit more kindness and a bit more love in the world, kind of thing. So that's where the genesis of it came from. But I just had a light bulb moment once when I was out there, just feeding some dogs in a temple over there, and I was feeding one little puppy a chew, and I just remember it just sort of suddenly clicked. I just thought, right, I've got a half decent property business going okay. I've got time. I'm good with people. I've got drive. And England generally as a country is quite a giving nation, and dogs are, you know, man's best friend over here. So I thought someone's got to do something over here. So yeah, it started from there basically, and just sort of has grown since. But it's been a really interesting journey.
What was it that made you do that in Thailand rather than do that in the UK then?
Because it's such a different scale over there, Sam. I mean, our dogs don't really suffer over here. We've got dogs that need adopting over here, but they're generally looked after. So the quality of their life quality over there is so low, and there's so much suffering, and it's such an incredible scale that we can't really fathom over here. So so when you see helpless little creatures that are really suffering, I think you know, you have to put your heart into the situation and say, what can I do to help this situation, and how can I scale it up? You know, it's okay going around feeding a pack of dogs whilst you're on holiday, great, but actually you might have just made that problem worse. So how can I scale this up to long-term welfare care, and how can I try to make this small area a slightly better place? So it came from there, really, and it wouldn't have happened without the property journey, I don't think, because that is a vehicle for the passion business, which is Krabi Animal Welfare. So yeah, so it came. So yeah, the reason to do it in Thailand is because it given me many lovely years. I had some great times over there, and the need over there is so much more than over here, really. I mean, it's sort of like night and day. You can't really compare anything.
So the charity is Krabi Animal Welfare.
Krabi Animal Welfare, yeah, Krabi. Yeah, that's a province in Thailand.
Okay. Yeah, so it'd be quite good if you put in our Facebook group details of the charity so that people can look up a little bit more about the work that you do, and if they want,
cool, let's do it.
Then they can do that, can't they?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we do daily work. So I've got a small team of a couple of volunteers and some vets, and we do daily work out there. So we're always feeding, treating, sterilising, relocating, adopting, anything we can do. So and that's on our Facebook. It's just Krabi Animal Welfare on Facebook and Instagram as well. So most of all of our posts go up on there. So that gives you a little flavour about what we do. Yeah.
So post both those links. That'd be great. I'm sure.
Yeah.
People wanting to find out a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely. It's inextricably sort of linked to the property stuff, really. And my big dream is to utilise, just to create some more conscious capitalism kind of ideas, to get some, because we've got our official registration now in England, so we can take on corporate sponsorship in some way, and there's definitely ideas, there's definitely ways of, win-win-win situations, no-brainer situations that can just filter a little bit of money to suffering animals, and the money goes so far, it's just incredible. So I think a lot of people are put off from charity work because they think, well, just a £5 a month or £10 a month, it won't do anything, so what's the point? And I've got loads of bills my end, but actually all that money adds up, and it's just incredible how far the English pound goes out there as well. So yeah, I'll definitely want to interlink, fuse property and charity a bit more in the future.
And I think sometimes we charities get bad press, don't they? The big ones perhaps, when they've got these chief executives who pay themselves exorbitant wages, and I'm getting the impression that's not the case in your charities. Are people paid, or is it
no, dead right. So we're in this completely unique position now. I think we must be one of the only animal charities that can say that if you donate £10 goes to the animals. We've got zero overheads. Because we've got no physical location there. We run mobile services, and we work with other charities as well. All of the money, so we haven't got any physical fixed costs, and we haven't got any wages to pay because I do only with volunteers. So all of the money goes straight to the animals. And if you couple that with the fact that the vets' bills are sort of 10-20% of what they would be here, so we can get animals sterilised for about 10% of the cost here, and treat their skin and treat their parasites and everything for about 10 or 20% of the value here. So the money really goes a long way. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We've got zero overheads at the moment, which is an incredible position to be in for a fully registered charity, and a real opportunity. I think it's a real sort of USP and a real opportunity for us as well. So yeah, it's great. It's fortunate for that. As soon as you get physical locations, and then you've got to employ people, and so I was advised against doing that from the start from peers in the industry, basically. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Yeah, you're absolutely right what you said.
So on a daily basis, what work does the charity do?
Okay, so our main mantra is to sterilise, because you can't ever really long-term affect the long-term welfare of a dog population in the future unless you get control of the population. So the reason why animals don't suffer over here is because they're all sterilised, basically, and we haven't got the overpopulation. We haven't got any really sort of wild animals, but over there there's millions. There's up to 3 million stray dogs, and they're pack animals at the end of the day. And when you really sit back and think about it, all of the suffering comes from overpopulation and over numbers. So we sterilise as much as we can. I think we did 9 last week or 13 last week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when a female bitch can have 2 litters a year of 6 to 8 puppies, once you do the pyramid down over a couple of years, them 9 dogs that you sterilise might be 300 next year, which might be 1,000 4 years after. So it's so our number one mantra is sterilising, and we run sterilisation clinics as well twice a year with another charity where we can do a whole wave of animals, big numbers over a week. But on a daily basis as well, we treat their skin. So the main reason for me to start off was start the charity was they're all suffering with really, really bad mange. It's a hot, humid, sticky environment. Fungal infections are just rife over there, and mange is a really cool one to see. They end up ripping their bad situation. They end up ripping their fur off, and it weeps, and their skin's horrible and causes them a lot of suffering. So we treat with Bravecto every day. And also we administer, I was speaking to one of my field workers yesterday, we've done a round of heartworm and bloodworms as well, bloodworm treatment, heartworm treatment. And then we deal with a lot of other tropical diseases that you don't get over here as well. So sometimes we have animals in for radiotherapy too for cancerous stuff. And but yeah, mainly, and of course feeding as well. That's something that's really nice, to feed a stray pack of dogs and know that they're getting some food, as long as you can sustain the program. So yeah, it's all about daily welfare care with a long-term mentality and long-term strategy in place.
And how many...
So feeding, sterilising, treating, caring. We do get emergency victims as well. So we might have roadside victims we might take into the vets. So yeah, emergency things pop up. So and a little bit of adopting as well, and some education. We want to push the education stuff in the schools more, but that's challenging as well. So
big plans then.
Yeah, why not? I mean, there's 3 million dogs. Like I'm impatient at heart, so I want to keep expanding it out. Yeah.
And how many volunteers do you currently have?
Oh, only a couple, but that's all we need really. So yeah, one main one and another one that dips in and out. But that's all we need. I mean, it's amazing what work you can get done. You know, you can, and he's full time though, so he'll be out all day every day. So you can do a lot of work like that. And we have a lot of other, I'd say, like spotter volunteers. So we get, because we've got a messaging system as well through Facebook, so we get all sorts of tourists and locals who will notify us. You could kind of class those as volunteers in a way, because they're highlighting areas or highlighting temples or animals that need treating. So got like a decent little network set up there now. And we work with the local vets as well, which is cool. And they love us, and we've got a really strong relationship with them as well. So that's good. And we also work with another charity closely there as well. So we've got the option of taking bad victims down if it's a severe case of things. We've got the option of taking them to be sort of rehabilitated at an actual centre. So yeah, bit by bit.
It's very clear that you're very passionate about this.
Yeah, well, it's very meaningful work. It's very purposeful work, and I think invariably when you travel quite a lot, you do wander a little bit, which is great. You know, which is great because there is a feeling that you've got your own time. It's quite self-empowering, traveling and choosing, being the master of your own destiny. But I think for me, speaking personally, I think as I got older, I was lacking a little bit of a purpose, and the property never fulfilled the passion, but it paid the bills. So, and I always loved dogs, and I just had this light bulb moment one day that, hey, I could definitely scale this up, and it's so rewarding. I mean, really, if you wanted to break it down, all giving is, for me, giving is living, but giving it is a slightly selfish, because you get such a great feeling yourself as well. It's quite empowering yourself, but it's got to be the best of all the selfishnesses, right? Because you're helping other people and other, in this case, animals. So yeah, it's definitely fulfilling and all of the good, healthy, spiritual stuff for sure. And it kind of gives you a feeling that you're reserving your little place up there somewhere, good karma points kind of deal. So yeah, it's definitely been very rewarding for me. I can say that on a personal level.
And what's the goals for the next sort of few years for the charity then?
Oh yeah, so I'd like to get fully registered in Thailand. So we're not fully registered yet; we're only partly registered, and that's a really long bureaucratic process. So once we do that, then we could potentially employ people over there and expand it out a bit more. So there's that aspect in Thailand, but I know that will come in its own time. All of the key pieces and the parts of the puzzle have fallen into place at the right time. So, but over here, plenty. I mean, this year's put a bit of the brakes on it all, but hopefully next year I'd like to just expand the fundraising side, which is kind of like my deal over here. So get out to some dog shows, generate some more money, get some more donation pots out, get plenty of raffle nights, fundraising events happening. Let's see how that pans out with COVID and everything. Also, I'd like to seek more sort of corporate sponsorship. I'm in talks with a friend of mine who's got a lettings thing. Maybe put like £1 on one of our bookings, so the customer feels, the person rented the accommodation feels that they're donating towards a charity. She gets the kudos of relieving pain and suffering of street dogs, and we get a little bit of revenue from it as well. That kind of, so expand out conscious capitalism ideas in a way. just generate more funds, basically. Just generate more funds. The more money we get coming in, the more animals we can help, and the quicker we can tackle this humongous problem over there.
So I guess if anyone was listening and they had experience in the industry of fundraising, then it would be great if they could get in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is that it's, you know, you'll feel really good about it, and all of your money will, you know, anything that you help me generate will go straight to animals, and you'll have regular updates of the work that your money has helped to carry out. You know, so yeah, it's please get in touch. Any ideas? It's really nice going to the PIP meetings and the property stuff, because you do meet a lot of driven, sort of networked entrepreneurial people, and I think deep down inside everyone's got a little bit of a charity worker or a little bit of a giver in them, you know. And I just feel like I kind of feel that Krabi Animal Welfare can empower some people as well, like it's empowered me in a positive way, kind of thing. So it's knowing that you're doing, and the people I have got involved so far who do my Instagram or do little events for me, I've got quite a few people who've been really kind and done some really great stuff, and they found it really rewarding, like really, you know, really into it. So yeah, it's great fun. Even the pubs that we used to do the curry raffle nights on, and they've all welcomed us back and said how beneficial it's been for them. And there's also like a positive, you know, not only is it a great thing to do, but it brings positivity and a good light to whatever business you're running as well, right? I mean, I think we all need to really start looking at how we generate and what we spend our money on, and value added ways that we can add to our business and create a little bit of light out there. So I think that's starting to become more mainstream in people's thinking now. So yeah, please get in touch. I've got all sorts of ideas that we can implement, and for me now, Sam and Karen, it's about tapping into other people's networks. So, you know, I know a lot of people who know a lot of people who know a lot of people. So it's just about spreading that word. And we're a nation of dog lovers. So it all adds up, you know, it really does all add up. And the more revenue we can generate, the more animals we can help effectively.
You said, you know, the English pound goes a long way. And I know you said a lot of your supporters contribute, say, £5 or £10 a month. In sort of real terms, then, what does that? How does that?
So in real terms, so we can treat a dog with Bravecto to relieve it scratching itself to death. We can treat that dog for £15. So that's the Bravecto tablets, 12 to 15 quid, which will then really help its fur recover, stop it weeping, stop it bleeding, really give it a good healthy injection. So for example, that's 12 to £15. That will last a dog up to 3 months. We can sterilise animals for the same cost, 12 to 15 pounds. So whereas over here we might take our dog or our cats and they have to stay overnight, and then you'll go and pick them up and get the bill of 150 quid, 200 quid. Over there we can do for 12 to 15 pounds. So for 10 pounds we can buy a 20-kilo bag of dog food, which will help feed a little pack in a temple or at school or wherever they congregate outside the shop. And the heartworm tablets. And so yeah, you're looking at sort of the money goes so much further, and the more expensive cases we get is maybe if we get any animals that have got a bad cancer growth, we do get some pretty bad stuff of that, and pretty bad cases of that. Sometimes that treatment can be a bit more expensive, but it still would only be, like I say, 10 or 20% of the cost of what it would be here in the UK, which is incredible. And you know, with digital money now, I can just, you know, you can send me money, I can send your money straight over there. You know, next day my guy's got it, the next day the dog's getting it. You know, it's just, we're just so lucky to have these systems in place now. And the pound has always been remarkably strong in Thailand. It's lost a lot over the last decade, but it still goes a long way. So yeah, we're very fortunate that aspect. It's hard for me to convey and to emphasize how important that is. Because I understand it, because I've been going there for so many years, and I understand what you can get for your money there. But you know, what is the value of money? Really, in its essence, what is the value of money? You know, if we all looked at our bank accounts today and saw how many bills we've got going out, especially as an HMO landlord, it's eye-watering, isn't it? And it's like, you know, that's just paying a bill for electricity, or for council tax, you know. But sending a minuscule amount of that over can really you know, have a positive impact and sustained improve of these poor sort of suffering animals' lives. So yeah, it's I'd really like to emphasize that fact, actually, Sam. The money goes really far, really far. On our website, we've got options to do monthly donations or ad hoc donations or whatever people feel comfortable with. But all I can say is I can just personally guarantee that the money will go straight over there, you know. So we've got a little bit of fuel to pay for, of course, but fuel's cheap there, and all the medicine, the rest of it goes towards medicine and vet bills. So
brilliant. Yeah, Karen, I know that you're a pet lover as well.
Indeed.
So
we've got a little adoptee here. We've got Simba, who's been listening in. She came to see you. She's a cat though. So we're cat people in this house. Do you help other animals as well if they come to you?
Say again.
Do you help other type of animals, cats?
Yeah. Mainly dogs, but we do sterilise a lot of cats as well, Karen. But the reason why it's dogs is because it's the strays are mostly dogs. Most of the cats are owned in Thailand, but just the people haven't got the money to sterilise them themselves. So we sterilise the sort of rural communities cats. But we do sterilise a lot of cats as well, and we do help them out. Some of them have got mange too, which is quite rare, but quite sad to see on the cats. So yeah, we do. Yeah, we do, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
No, that's
kitties are well in the picture.
No, excellent. I've actually dropped in the Krabi Animal Welfare.org/donate page. When I disappeared, what I discovered on an iPad is when you start sharing stuff on Facebook, it removes your photo from Zoom, unlike normal laptop. But no, what you're doing is phenomenal. It's really great. And I like the idea you said about, you know, somebody just giving £1, which is nothing in the scheme of things, but actually if that's compounded multiple times, you know.
Absolutely. So I'm in talks with her. Hopefully it will come off with a friend of mine who's got a little lessons business, and you know, I think she gets, I'm not sure, 60 to 80 or 100 bookings a month. You know, imagine if she could just put £1 or £2 into there. You know, say it's £2. You know, and say she gets 100 bookings, it's £200 a month, and on the person's, it won't affect her negatively. She'll still be competitive, but yet she'll still be able to advertise to the tenant that, hey, part of your booking, you know, 1% or 0.5% of your booking will go towards suffering street dogs, and you know, helping relieve the pain and suffering of abused and sick animals in Thailand. That tenant surely has to be positive. And also she can put that as a link or a little logo or just a green, conscious, aware, you know, ethos, a morally positive thing to add to our business, you know, which I think we all sort of need to start thinking about if we're going to make the world a better place a little bit. And then I get the money, so for me it's a win-win-win. You know, there's no negatives there. It's not enough money for anybody to lose it or to worry about it. It's not going to affect her competitively. And it goes straight to the animals. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I'd like to think of. I'm open to any other ideas or suggestions.
Yeah,
Karen.
well, I think you came up. We already sponsor a cat charity, but something maybe you should talk about to people a bit more if you haven't got it set up, or if you have, put your link there. And that's the Amazon sponsorship.
Yeah, we do that. So actually, I was going to. Could I just quickly plug that actually for anybody who's listening? So yeah, so sure. So it's smile.amazon, right? So. We're one of the beneficiary charities for Amazon. So if you go onto smile.amazon, you sign in, and then you in the search bar you choose Krabi Animal Welfare, then go back into your Amazon app on your phone or on your computer and sign in. Then 0.5% of your expenditure, which is great this time of year too, will go towards Krabi Animal Welfare, which is an amazing tool that Amazon have done. Yeah, well done, Jeff.
Can you explain that again, because that sounds a bit complicated.
Oh, sorry. So basically, sorry, I'll whiz through it, Sam, a little bit. So Amazon have got this system by, if you're a registered charity, whatever you can donate 0.5% of your spend on Amazon to a charity of your choice. Yeah.
But it doesn't cost you any more money.
Exactly. It's a win-win. It's a complete no-brainer. It doesn't cost you any more money. It's coming out of Amazon's pocket effectively. It's only
they use it as a tax offset. Okay.
Right. Great. Yes, Karen. Me and you need to talk about that later on, actually. Okay. Tax offset for them. Win-win for the customer. But to do that, you need to sign into the Smile. So the division of Amazon is called Smile.Amazon. You need to sign into that on your phone or laptop. choose Krabi Animal Welfare, and then go back into your actual Amazon app and go into your settings, and then let you activate the smile.amazon part of the app. And then anything you spend, we will get 0.5% off.
Did you have to do that every single time you go into Amazon?
No, once.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
just to set it up. Yeah, I did.
Paul, put the link in there, right?
I will,
put
yeah.
the link and the instructions, because I know you're speaking it out loud, but actually put the actual Amazon link directly to your charity in there with some notes. And it literally is, they subscribe to it once, and then every time you use Amazon, money goes to Paul's charity, but it doesn't cost you anything. And for Amazon, it's a tax offset, so but Paul benefits from it. So with people spending loads of money at Christmas, it's a really good way to generate a ton of money.
Yeah,
that's right, Karen, and you really understand this pension tax offset stuff, don't you? And I don't. But all I knew was that I need to get into the room of some board. I need to get into some boardrooms and see how some companies are offsetting their tax, because I think that is definitely could be a big revenue stream for Krabi Animal Welfare in the future.
Do you need to speak to a chartered tax advisor then?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I just think that I spoke
And
to
directors of companies that would like to contribute, because it's something that's dear to their heart, and of course they can use it by putting that through, as an offset within their company. So absolutely, you need a good tax advisor, like Sam said, but you need company directors. So people out there, if you've got profits and you want to pay less tax and you want to be ethical, look at how you can actually donate money to Paul's charity. So creating another win-win scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's all about ethics, isn't it? It's all about taking money that would normally go to the tax man and then generating some real positivity with it. Yeah, that's definitely I had that on my mind to look at this year more, but of course, when COVID came, it kind of put the brakes and pause on a lot of giving. Essentially, I mean, yeah, it's been tough in the charity sector this year for a lot of people. So,
one more thought, and probably the questions to Sam, just to see feasibility, because she's quite close on the HPN side, possibly, and with other meats as well. There's a way that you could get 50 pence added onto a ticket to donate to your charity, and/or they donate 50 pence from each ticket. And that's something I don't know the answer of, but there might be some way of leveraging that.
Yeah, and also even a raffle situation. We're doing a lot of these online raffles. I mean, most people have got dogs, right? So there's all sorts of offshoots there. That could be a great idea, but or some sort of raffle, raffle system maybe as well. There's whenever you've got a room full of 50, 100 entrepreneurial people who mostly have got dogs and have got an innate desire to do something with their wealth or what they're generating, which is where my impetus come from, then I think a lot of people would I think it'd be again a win-win-win thing. I think it'd look good for whoever's offering that, and the people would feel good about whoever's participating in it as well. I've just been limited to online raffles actually during COVID, so I'm lucky enough to get big doggy hampers donated that we can raffle off. That's another option, to do it at physical meets or even online. It's just about tapping into other networks for me. I think generally most people want to help in some capacity, and if you've got a dog and your dog is your best friend and it's really well looked after, like my little guy is, it's just that's everything that these poor animals haven't got. So once you try to get that information across, and realize that you have got the power to do something, even just £1 or £2, it's powerful stuff, and once people realize the power they could potentially have within a network and then scaled it up, then I'm all ears to any suggestions, ladies. I'm not massive on creativity, so yeah.
You could definitely, with Hampshire Property Network, have a look at doing something there. I think well, when we do our live meetings next year, you come and do a presentation. I think Eventbrite might be a bit like you said with Amazon. Maybe Eventbrite do something with an extra charity donation. I have no idea if they do. There's probably lots of people listening in who have got sort of much more expertise in marketing than I have, who might have some bright ideas, and if they do, then it'd be great if they posted them on or connected with you.
Yeah, I'll welcome any suggestions. So thanks for the Thanks for the exposure.
Karen, is there any questions in the Facebook, or is that a bit tricky for you to do on your iPad?
Really just people shouting out, saying hi and listening in, because I think, like you say, there's lots of commitment on the animal side and they're liking to hear what you're up to, and they're saying, yeah, Vicky's shouting out to you, go Paul. But no, people I think are really inspired by what you're doing. It's just how they connect with you really, and how it can be done so people don't forget about it. It's continual, like the Amazon thing. Fabulous idea. So make sure you do add some instructions and the direct link in there. And you know, if something like HPN could have 50 pence from tickets and other, you know, there's companies that are going to want to shield some of their profit ethically, and it's about reaching out to those directors who might like to be involved to do that, to reduce their tax bill, but reduce their tax bill, but create a win-win scenario by doing it, by giving that percentage of...
Yeah, exactly, Karen. I think utilising corporations' money that would have been offset for tax anyway, that's definitely the direction I want to take this. And that option hasn't been available until now, because we only just received our official registration. So now we've got it. We can, you know, you can legally declare everything on your with your accountant, and you can get your tax relief, which is going to be massive. And it's a complete no-brainer. You know, it's a complete no-brainer. My job is to convey how far that money will go and how much power you have in that money. You know, even if it amounts to 50 quid or 100 quid a year or £5,000, that money will go so far. You know, so far, and it's got a lot more value than being sat in the HMRC account. That's for sure. You know, yeah.
And you know, if you've got a creative accountant over here as well, it might be they're prepared to kind of present your offering, your product to their customers who are also loving animals, want to help, and
absolutely,
you know, might be able to do something as well. So it's definitely worth speaking to your accountant, see if they would be on board with doing that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will do. It's all very early days for this seeking corporate sponsorship at the moment, but I just think that it will fall into place when it's supposed to, and it will be a very positive thing when it does happen. So yeah. Yeah.
Marketing video, like a 90-second video that you
say again, Sam?
Have you produced, for example, a 90-second marketing video?
No, that's something we could look at. For sure, we've definitely got enough footage. It's always hard to get the balance of content right when it comes to animal content, because we're quite sensitized over here, and they're not so much in Thailand, and we appeal to both markets. But yeah, we could definitely put something together that would give a broad and fair view of what we have to tackle daily. And then how far your money could go, you know. So, and with the right music and the right edit, the right way of putting it together, I think it would be powerful. I've actually got some music for it already, which I wrote. So that's the next bit. Yeah, that'll be the next. I'm not great at the marketing stuff, you know, but I am good at putting people together and trying to work out the next step of the journey for course. So. But I've always felt that because Sarah Smith showed a real interest and sent me some money, bless her, ages ago, and I thought, yeah, I definitely need to sort of utilise networking people who are tapped into various groups, and definitely property is for me. It's always been inextricably linked now. For me, the property business and the charity are kind of intertwined, you know, and yeah, I definitely would like to marry them up more in the future with other people's property businesses and Krabi Animal Welfare for sure. So yeah,
Paul, do a mini video and send it to Sam and I. We can stick it on the Property Angels page, just mini video on your charity, showing some of the animals and just talking about it and how people can donate.
Yeah, great. Sounds good. We lost you a little bit there. Yeah, sounds good. I will endeavour to do that. Have you got any recommended programs for it?
Programs? What?
Any editing software or anything?
Has
Apple got a? It's probably easier on my iPad, isn't it? Has Apple got a video? I'm sure they've got some sort of videos app. So yeah, I'll look into it for sure.
Yeah, certainly have a look at that. And I think it's going to appeal to a lot of people what you're doing. You know, you're using property as your vehicle to enable you to do charity work.
Yeah, and also let's not forget, you know, yeah, and also it's so positive to be involved in something that it's first of all, it's quite empowering for the person who's donating or generating any sort of funds. But anything that you do that throws a bit of kindness and compassion out there, you know, it has to, it's spiritually fulfilling as well. So I think that's we can all get very caught up in numbers and bricks and mortar and tradespeople and whatever your deal is, right? But we shouldn't lose sight that we can create other value as well within what we're doing, and actually a lot of the time it's effortless and it's no-brainer ways of doing it as well, and it won't impact. It's only a positive add-on. It's only a bonus for anybody's situation, I believe, you know. But I'm also really conscious that people are quite giving by nature in this country as well, and a lot of people have already fulfilled their charity commitments, and that's great. You know, any money that goes out to helpless people or animals is money well spent, in my opinion. So, and we're not a very well, I'm not personally, we're not a very sort of envious, jealous bunch. We all try to work together with other charities in the area and all try to sing off the same song sheet. So yeah,
what appeals to me is that 100% of your money is going to benefit the actual cause, not going into bonus payment.
Yeah, I mean, invariably, like any organisation, when a charity gets so big, then invariably they need to pay people to sustain their structure and to sustain their cause. And I think a lot, as a registered charity, you do have to publish your accounts publicly, so you can look at some of these charities that you already donate to, and I do sometimes, and you know, it's just it is what it is. They can't change that. They can't change the fact they need to employ people. They need to have overhead. They need to pay fixed costs. They need to, and they're doing the best they can. But where we're so quite small and we're quite, I mean, it's run on goodwill and volunteers at the moment. We're really lucky with that. Really, really lucky. And I think that's the biggest USP for donors, right? I mean, you know that all of your money is going straight there. That's gold. I mean, it's so rare, so rare. And not only are you getting that unique benefit, but also your money's amplified because it's being converted into Thai baht, which is the Thai currency.
Yeah.
And that is just, you know, it's almost like you're just expanding it all in a couple of different ways there. So yeah, really, really, really fortunate. Really, really fortunate. So we're in a unique position. I think it will, if we stay quite small, invariably that will have to change. But if we stay quite small, then at the moment, then that will be the case for until we get much bigger, and we will need an actual physical premise and trained vets on site and things like that. But if you're just a mobile service, that was one of the most efficient ways I was advised to start off, was to be a mobile charity in effect. So it's definitely the most efficient system, because if you've got a physical dog shelter, most people, our initial thoughts over here in England is, oh, you know, great, they've got a dog shelter and they're looking after 100 dogs, but you know, that's 100 out of 3 million dogs, you know, and if you've got 100 dogs, how are you going to turn away 120, 150? So, and there's so many negatives about having a physical place. So yeah, we started off in the most efficient, effective way that we can, and so far it's going good. And we enlist local people's help as well a lot. So yeah, we enlist locals help to feed and to let us know how packs are doing, and to let us know, do you need any support, any help, and local temples as well. So we do a lot with the local monks at the local temples, because a lot of dogs get dumped at local temples, and cats as well. So we liaise quite a lot with locals, which is a really big part of it as well. Like gaining respect and credibility over there is a really big part of it. So yeah, most of them are really, really welcoming and really help us out. So we're grateful for that.
Paul, it's been fascinating to hear about your journey with the charity and how Properties enabled you to do that. I'm sure you will have touched many hearts listening in today, and people who listen to it afterwards. Like Karen said, make sure that you put all the details there so that people can connect with you and they can support the charity.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Should I send that to you guys personally, or should I send that to?
So it'll be on the Property Angels page of our event for today. If you put the information in there, then people can find it on Facebook. That'd be brilliant.
Great. Thanks very much for having me.
Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn?
No, I'm not. That's another thing that I do need to do, because I know that I'm aware of that. I'm aware that we need to get a status on there. I kind of shy away from a lot of social media. It can end up zapping your life, can't it? But I do know that could be beneficial as a charity. I remember the talk we had in the PIP session with that guy, and he was really fascinating guy. So definitely.
Next week to do.
yeah. So we're on Instagram and Facebook, Krabi Animal Welfare, and I'll put the website details up and get a video sorted soon as well. So thanks very much for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you. Thanks very
Lovely.
much.
Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.